Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be reading from one of my favorite books to write, Once Upon a Pastry. Once Upon a Pastry is a story about a woman named Gertrude who was left a bakery by her late grandmother, but she doesn't know how to bake, and she decides that she's going to approach a witch and ask for a spell that can help her become a better baker and pastry maker, so that she can get the business back going again because she's very deep in debt. And the witch, Mona, takes her up on that, but instead of gold, what she wants in return is Gertrude's firstborn child. Gertrude is hesitant at first, of course, but after they talk for a little bit and she's convinced that no harm will come to the child, Gertrude agrees. She figures, this woman wants a baby, perhaps she can't have one, why not? It can't hurt, and right now she's hurting so badly financially and she just doesn't have a choice. So this book is one part fantasy, one part romance, and there's some comedy in there, and it's just a really fun book to read, and it was a fun book to write. I really enjoyed this one. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. I'm going to be reading from chapter 3. It was early afternoon, and a steady stream of customers had the front door bell tinkling over and over. The sound had been welcome a month ago, but by now, Gertrude was ready to get rid of the blasted thing. It wasn't that she didn't love the fact that her shop was so busy. She was forced to hire her friend Jasper to help out with the front counter, something they were both thrilled about. All of the debts she had owed after her grandmother passed were now paid off, and she had excess gold flowing in like crazy. She could actually afford repairs on the bakery and new dresses sometimes. Gertrude couldn't be happier. So though the bell had her wishing she could jump over the counter and hurl it out the window, it wasn't because she wanted the door to stop opening and bring her new business. No, the sound was just getting annoying. She still couldn't believe how well the witch's spell was working. Everything she baked was delicious. She never accidentally underbaked or overbaked anything. Her glaze was never too thick or too runny. Her muffins were always soft. Pastries were perfect. By now, she had a dozen or more regulars who came in at certain parts of the day, requesting their favorites from her basket of goodies. And her new faces were stopping in daily. Word had spread quickly, and Gertrude's modest shop was becoming quite well known, as promised. She pulled a pan of croissants from the oven and placed them on the table in the back wall. As she dipped her brush in melted butter and glazed the steaming dough, she noticed Jasper watching her from near the counter and winked at her. "Isn't it almost your break time?" she asked. "I was trying to see to Mr. Menzer first. He is still deciding." Gertrude nodded as she noticed the older gentleman glancing back and forth between the baskets on display. Setting the steaming food out to cool near the display counter, she took off her oven mitts and sidled up to her friend. "He always does this, but always picks the same thing," she whispered jokingly. "Yep, blueberry muffins every day. Wonder what he'll do when blueberries are out of season." "Who knows?" Gertrude smiled at her friend. Jasper was tall, dark, and handsome, and had every female who walked in the door fanning themselves and eyeing him like he was as yummy as what Gertrude pulled from the oven. Not that he was interested. She was happy to tell any girl who tried to ask about him that he was taken. Just as Mr. Menzer was approaching the counter to finally order, the door swung open violently. An unattractive woman garbed in a fraying black dress and a puke-pink shawl entered with a cheetah's gait. The witch had made her dramatic appearance. She strode over to Gertrude with her head held high. Actually happy to see the strange woman, Gertrude began untying her apron as she moved from around the counter. "How's it going, Sugar Tits? Looks like business is thriving," the witch said. Gertrude paused, her brown eyes widening in horror. Though the witch wasn't yelling, she hadn't bothered to lower her voice at all, and customers were turning their heads, leaving their own conversations hanging to witness this new drama. She just called me that in front of everyone, she thought. Heat stained her cheeks pink, but she didn't want to mention out loud how embarrassing this was. She had been feeling so grateful towards the witch these past few weeks, and wasn't about to let the woman's loud personality keep her from expressing her thanks. Yes, it's good to see you again, Mona. The witch put her hands on her hips, her eyes sweeping the store, taking it all in. You got anything cooking in the oven? Gertrude motioned with a hand towards the kitchen area. Well, I just pulled out some croissants, but no, I mean the one under that skirt. By now, Gertrude was sure her entire face was as red as Father Christmas's robes, but she took it in stride, ignoring the whispering women in the corner and Mr. Minzer's head shaking. Can we step outside to talk, Mona? I'd be happy to tell you all about it. The witch took her time looking around the room again, meeting the interested gazes of their audience. Then she rolled her eyes, threw up her hands, and sighed dramatically. Very well, let's go. She didn't wait, but hauled her rear back out the door. I'll be right back, Gertrude said to Jasper. Her friend was just as enthralled by the witch as the customers, leaning on the counter with his chin in his hand, watching with a smirk. Sure thing, sugar tits. Gertrude gave him a scathing look before darting out the front door. Mona was tapping her foot just outside, her arms crossed over her chest, by all appearances irritated and ready to leave. But Gertrude had to wonder. Something about the witch's mouth and eyes told her that she had enjoyed the little scene in the bakery. Maybe she liked drama? Or more like she enjoyed stirring up trouble for people. So, you preggers yet? No, it isn't that simple, you see. I don't even have a boyfriend. Mona made a hissing noise through her teeth. A relationship isn't required. You just need to get knocked up. Yeah, that's not happening. I said I would give you my firstborn. You said you didn't have to collect now. Neither of us agreed on a certain time frame. Gertrude watched Mona's eyes widen at the implication. You aren't going to make me wait years, are you? That's crazy. You have your end of the bargain now. Look, I'm pretty busy with the business right now. Once things settle down, I'm sure I will start dating again. Just be patient, okay? I'm really so ecstatic about what you've done for me. So it isn't like I would purposely try to back out on the deal or anything. How could I? Gertrude fingered her earlobe. Mona's eyes became distant, like her thoughts were straying somewhere else. A tiny frown hovered in the corner of her lips, and Gertrude wondered at it. Had the witch been betrayed before? Then her attention snapped back to Gertrude. What about that piece of eye candy working with you? Jasper? Gertrude almost laughed. No, we're friends. There is nothing else there, and trust me, there never will be. Listen, Mona, it will happen. Just give us some time, okay? In the meantime, you can stop by any time and have some pastries on the house. That brought the sparkle back to those dull brown eyes, and Gertrude wished for a moment that she could see her real ones, those lovely green ones again. Oh yeah? You make cupcakes? Of course. Anytime you want to come by, I'll make some fresh ones for you, okay? Gertrude said. I might just take you up on that, sugar tits, but don't think that sweets will buy me off. Mona tried to give her a stern eyebrow, but Gertrude wasn't fooled. The witch loved the idea of free cupcakes. Of course not. And before Gertrude could say another word, Mona turned on her heel and left, swaying her shapely hips as she crossed the street, heading in the direction of her shop. Gertrude let out a sigh of relief, but even feeling slightly embarrassed, she couldn't say she was unhappy that Mona had stopped by. She was starting to like her. Her loud and showy personality was kind of fun. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed this reading of Chapter 3 of Once Upon a Pastry. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, iBooks, and plenty of other websites if you want to get your ebook copy. It's also available in paperback. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys come back for some more book readings.